We have our first anthropology course in 1879 in Rochester, New York. So that's really late when you think of other disciplines like science, chemistry, mathematics, music, philosophy. 1879 is our first anthropology course in Rochester, New York. And the first anthropology department was in 1886 at the University of Pennsylvania. So both of these happening in the latter part of the 19th century. Now, from the 1900s to the 1940s, America had its own unique theory on anthropology, and this was called historical particularism. Historical particularism. And what this theory states is each culture has its own unique historical past that shapes it. Each culture is unique and must be judged within its own context. So for us to judge, like say an Inuit or Arctic culture based on, oh, they have no metallurgy, they don't have a wheel, all they have is like bone tools, and they're using dogs for transportation, and they're basically fishermen, hunter gatherers, and that's their life. It's not fair, according to a historical particularist, to take some industrialized European culture and then compare the two technologies and say, oh, you're inferior, you're barbaric, or you're savage because you don't have these tools, you haven't developed the wheel, you haven't developed a written language. And basically what the historical particularist would say is these people are incredibly sophisticated and have appropriate technology for the environment in which they live and their historical background that brought them to this place in time. And how many of us could live for 24 hours if we were dropped off in the Arctic? I couldn't. I mean, I don't have the skill set to provide shelter or food or safety for myself in that environment. And so, but someone born and raised in that environment would know how to survive, and they would have the technology and skills to do so. You could say the same for a jungle people, same for a desert people. We have all developed different tools and techniques to survive in the environments in which we live. And that's what the historical particularist is saying. If you want to understand a culture, you have to understand it in its own light, in its own historical context. You can't just be randomly comparing selected aspects of it with other cultures and get an accurate understanding.
So would you think that unilineal evolutionists are more like comparatives?
Yes, that's good. Yes.